What's up everyone, it's Bones here. In today's video, I'll be covering the plant Rikka deck that happened to win the European Championship to everyone's surprise. But before I begin, if you happen to enjoy content like this, clicking on those thumbs up and subscribe buttons would be greatly appreciated, as it goes a long way in supporting the channel and shows me that you like content like this. So the first thing I'm going to do here is read Rikka Glamour, and when you activate this card, you can also tribute one plant monster, add one Rikka monster from your deck to your hand. Then if you tributed a monster, when you activated this card, add one plant monster with the same original level as that Rikka monster, but a different name from your deck to your hand. You can only activate one Rikka Glamour per turn. And as you can see, most plant decks, or every plant deck, playing the Loki because it's a one-card engine that kind of gives plant decks a backbone. And another thing that we saw in the YCS, or the championship winning list, was the fact that it was playing Triple Tactics Talent and Dark Ruler no more. It was going more the board breaking route, as it's able to set up a huge board going first and then play to kind of break the opponent's board going second, as the Rikka stuff can kind of tribute cards, and you have a lot of monsters in the extra deck that can do stuff like Bang, the Link 4 plant that can bounce. And you have the Thrasher, I think it's called, the one that has the attack increase and little stuff like that. But you'll see that we're seeing regular plant combo here, as I'm just going to take you through this so you see the combo firsthand if you need to. But if you're familiar with plants, what you're seeing now is basically what's been around for the last 6 months, I think it is. And we'll see a second Jasmine, as we see the effect of Laurel, which will gain life points. The Jasmine will then get its effect. As we see an addition of the Lilyboria. The Lilyboria can special summon itself, equipping the Loki. And then we can see the Lilyboria get its effect, which will add the Disc Coliseum. And something to point out about Rikka plants is the Therion package. I don't know if every version will play the Therion package, and if they do, it just raises the ceiling of the deck. The reason why this deck wasn't accounted for the same way as Sprite and Tearlaments is because of consistency. But what this deck does not have in consistency, its ceiling is just so high, as you're going to see momentarily, as we see a special summon of Rikka Petal, which is basically just a resource card here, as it allows you to take a Rikka monster from your deck, accept itself, and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard, locking you into plants. And during your opponent's end phase, if you control no monsters or all monsters you control are plants, then you can special summon it if it's in your graveyard. And we'll see that we're going to get the addition of Fairy here, and we're going to see more link climbing, as we see an addition of Dryas, adding the Sunvine Sowing. And now we're going to see the Fairy effect. We will see a special summon of it, which then it will use its effect to add the Rikka Con, which reads, if you control a Rikka monster, you can set one Rikka spell trap directly from your deck to your spell and trap zone. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn, except plant monsters. You can only use this effect of Rikka Con once per turn, and once per turn, if you would tribute a plant monster you control to activate a Rikka card or effect, you can tribute any one face-up monster that your opponent controls, even though you do not control it. And I'd like to point out that because he controls a Rikka here, he can set Rikka Sheet, which is basically how you can get your tribute off with Con on field. And Rikka Sheet reads that target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Also, you can tribute one plant monster. Players cannot activate that face-up monster's effect on the field this turn. Then, if you tributed a monster when you activated this card, take control of that monster until the end phase, and if you do, it becomes a plant monster until the end phase. So an extremely strong mechanic, being able to tribute for cost, as it's also backed by the Sun Avalon engine the Regulus Omni Negate, you get the Sun Avalon Bloom, which shuts down monster effects, or it's a pseudo skill drain. And then you see the Bang, which provides just another bounce. As we see, it's going to be used for the glamour, but he can just bring it back. And another card that I want to read here is Rikka Princess, because this card is crazy, and if you don't play around it, this will be the most punishing card in the deck, in my opinion, next to Sun Avalon Bloom. And it reads that during your main phase, you can special summon this card from your hand, but while it is face up in the monster zone, you cannot special summon monsters except plant monsters when your opponent activates a monster effect while you control a Rikka monster. Quick effect. You can shuffle this card from your hand or graveyard into the deck and tribute one plant monster, negate that effect. So if Con is on the field and this card is in your hand or in your graveyard, you can tribute an opponent's monster in order to negate an effect. A monster effect, more specifically. So that's why I feel it's such a punishing card, and being able to back it with a Regulus and the Sun Avalon Bloom can just make it a lot for decks to play through, because it requires you to have board-breaking cards that do their jobs at blowout potentials, like Dark Ruler No More, as we see in the Flu player's hand. That is definitely one that can do its job, but like Tri-Brigade, when you kind of had to have the response for Appaloosa and Revolt, back when that was the meta, this deck kind of has the same thing going for it, except with a much higher ceiling, as you can see with the Omni Negate. You have the Bloom, the Sheet, you have the Princess in the graveyard, and the Flu player is going to attempt to play through this, but you'll see that the Rikka player, even if he gets Dark Ruler No More, he still has the Princess in graveyard, he has the Sheet, he has the Sun Avalon Bloom for the Flu summons, and we'll see the Toucan Chainlink 1, the Robina Chainlink 2, and we'll see that he allows that, as we're going to see the summon of Robina, and now we will see the Rikka Princess from the graveyard tributing a plant monster here, as he tributes the Strenna. And we'll see that the Robina is going to get negated. Then we'll see that the Strenna is going to get its effect, which can then bring out the Teardrop, the Rikka Queen. And we'll see the second Dark Ruler No More be activated here, as we go into duality, even though I think he activated it already. Never mind, as we see 3 Winter Cherries, and that's going to do it for this game, so I won't really continue the replay from here. But the point of this video is to kind of show you what to expect. Rikka Con allows you to tribute an opponent's monster if using a Rikka effect. Along with playing board breakers, this deck has a lot of ways to break boards within its own resource pool, along with Regulus being a 2800 attack body that can just bring itself out and put even more pressure on board. If there's some things that I would like to cover up to end this video, is that if there's something that you need to know, is there are certain boards where super polying their water plant monsters into Garura is a valid option, but more importantly, it's that back row hate, like Twin Twisters, is very important against this deck. The only thing about Twin Twisters, though, is that, as you can see, most of the times they're going to be able to get Sheet along with Bloom and the Con. So something like Lightning Storm could be better evenly. Things that combo to break boards with Dark Ruler, or even just Forbidden Droplet in order to negate the Regulus and then use your board breaker, like Evenly or Lightning Storm. But anyways, that's all for today's video, and I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry that I had to make this video quick, as I didn't have a lot of time, but I still wanted to get something out there. If you made it this far into the video, I thank you for watching. It's Boned, signing out.